Though he never viewed himself as a philosopher, Marcus Aurelius's writings stand among the most vital Stoic scriptures from antiquity. His meditations hold a collection of personal notes rooted in Stoic principles, one being to accept fate and live in harmony with nature's demands. Rather than desiring events to unfold as we hope, Marcus Aurelius suggests we're wiser to embrace the universe, cultivating flexibility toward the external world while maintaining strictness within ourselves. Yet most of us crave a pleasant life, expecting our surroundings to supply what we need for contentment. We seek friendly faces around us, yearn to fulfill dreams and ambitions, stay youthful, and dodge misfortune. Often, we reject our bodies and innate gifts, unwilling to embrace our imperfections. In brief, being human involves much wanting and scant accepting of external conditions. But the more we demand from the universe, the greater our risk of disillusionment. Despite our striving, chances are we'll meet unkind souls, fail to realize our dreams and goals, face hardship, and surely not evade aging. If these inevitable moments trouble us, we turn into puppets of our surroundings, tied emotionally to its caprices. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius often urged himself to welcome fate, just as it arrives, and thrive no matter the situation. This video examines why accepting the universe beats resisting and attempting to alter it. By the way, more Stoic insights await in this book, Stoicism for Inner Peace, featuring my gathered works on staying composed and centered. A link's in the description. Part 1. Accepting other people. Imagine someone hurls a mocking jest at you or someone dear to you. How might a Stoic thinker respond? Would he flare with rage or resort to fists as an answer? Marcus Aurelius counseled himself to see an event for no more than it is. Here, a person jested at your expense. But did that jest itself wound you? That can't happen. Only if you permit it can a jest harm you. Anger, sadness, violence, these feelings you craft yourself. They don't come with the jest itself. Marcus Aurelius noted on those speaking ill of you, "Add nothing from within and it's finished." End quote. Handling others means facing the unpredictable and untamable. Some are virtuous and good, others immoral and cruel. Some diligent and supportive, others idle and opportunistic. Certain folks enjoy jesting, some leap to aggression swiftly. Marcus Aurelius stressed that whether people are haughty, thankless, sly, or aloof, we all partake in human nature. Beauty and flaws make up human nature, so he spurred himself to accept all and stay unshaken by the wicked. To him, we exist to collaborate, not oppose one another. We desire people to behave as we'd like, but reality shows they follow their own will. Their actions aren't ours to command. We might sway them, but in the end, they'll speak and act as they choose, however foolish or senseless it seems. Thus, pouring vast energy into changing others squanders time better spent elsewhere. I quote, "Don't squander your remaining time here fretting over others unless it concerns the collective good. It hinders you from useful deeds. You'll fixate on what this one does, why, what they say, what they think, what they plot, and all else that distracts and pulls you from tending your own mind." End quote. Part 2. Accepting transience. Great minds of yore, empires, kingdoms, all crumble to ash and dust. Marcus Aurelius likens children to leaves in the breeze, sprouting in spring, then swept off, replaced by fresh ones in the forest. The Stoic emperor keenly knew how fleeting things are, how swiftly what we deem vital now fades into past phantoms. He cited ancient emperors and thinkers, once mighty influential figures roaming the earth, now mere dust and ash from ages past. Like leaves that come and go, so do human generations rise and fall. We begin as a seaman speck, and our final breath comes before we realize all is fleeting, a brief flicker here, especially compared to our planet's span. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, I quote, "Let all else go. Cling to this alone and recall it. We live just now, this fleeting moment. The past is done, the future unseen. Our lifespan is tiny, tiny as the earth's corner where we dwell, tiny as the grandest fame, whispered among short-lived beings, blind to themselves and those long gone." End quote. For some, transience might breed pain. Isn't it mournful that death claims us so soon after we arrive? Thus some cling fiercely to life, chasing ways to stretch it beyond its natural bounds, seeking eternal youth's fountain. All efforts to defy nature prove futile. We're granted only a finite time here, mostly spent in bodily decline. Yet, transience has a bright side too. Since nothing endures, nothing merits worry. For instance, Marcus Aurelius highlighted reputation's triviality. He wrote, "See how fast we're all forgotten. Time's endless chasm engulfs everything. The void of those clapping hands, those who laud us, how fickle, how random they are, and the small stage where it unfolds. Earth, a speck in space, mostly empty." End quote. Realizing how brief and small our lives are, we find less cause to fret over trifles and more room to cherish our time. From a Stoic view, life's brevity also urges us not to squander it. Whatever we aim to do, now's the time. Part 3. Accepting misfortune. We might hope and plead for misfortune to never strike, but reality reveals no one dodges existence's shadows. Life includes adversity. Resisting it, we suffer not just the misfortune, but also the letdown of facing it despite our hopes. Still, people often wrestle fate, striving to block potential woes that will come their way. When sickness hits, wealth fades, or rain clouds roll in where we sought sun, we grumble, lament, and yearn for better days to hasten near. Marcus Aurelius rejects this stance toward destiny. Rather than wishing for a misfortune-free life, he deems it wiser to seek the strength to bear adversity. This mindset anchors a Stoic key tenet, the dichotomy of control. Some things we command, others we don't. Thus, it's sensible to dwell chiefly on what we can shape. Or as Marcus Aurelius put it, "Isn't it wiser to act on what you can, like a free soul, than be swayed by what you can't, like a beggar or slave?" End quote. Basing joy on external whims hands fate the reins over you. Picture fretting endlessly that your partner might leave. So you beg them to stay close, yet in Stoic thought, all that befalls you traces back to the gods, the origin of everything. Events may seem dire, but the Stoics say it's the gods' design. A romance? Unraveling then fits the divine scheme, and prayers won't halt it. Thus Marcus Aurelius advises aiming prayers at what we can master. I quote, "Pray this way and you'll see. Not a way to bed her, but a way to cease desiring. Not a way to banish him, but a way to stop scheming. Not a way to keep my child, but a way to shed fear. Turn your prayers thus, and see what unfolds." End quote. A lover's deeds we can't rule, but we can fortify ourselves, gaining resilience to weather a parting. We can't bar someone dear from leaving, but we can muster the strength to accept all that comes, even willing it so. Embracing misfortune, even the gods can't wound us no matter what they serve. Part 4. Accepting change. Change is nature's essence, birthing all, and nothing worldly stands still. Not only does the cosmos shift around us, we shift too, our body's cells renewing ceaselessly till death. Marcus Aurelius saw change as natural, serving the whole's good. We might liken changes around us to our bodies swapping old parts for new, perhaps sad for the bits themselves, yet vital for the body's whole. Likewise, our world persists in self-renewal, trading old for new, ever chasing the best state. This is nature's design unfolding, and Marcus Aurelius urges us to accept it, as it fosters the world's vigor and Zeus's own welfare and thrive. Unlike transience we've covered, change differs. It's not merely all things, fleetingness, but the full arc of their becoming other. No fixed point exists in the universe. Change forever stirs. Even steady sights, a calm vista or a rock in the surf, shift, though less starkly than our lips in speech or a runner's stance. Some beings live and die in a day, like the mayfly. Others endure over 10,000 years, like the glass sponge, and planets span billions. Yet none are everlasting. Change births them and will unmake them. Without change, our world wouldn't be, nor life possible. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Change is all the world is." End quote. Yet, though change spawns us, we dread it too, ironically. Many clutch at situations, items, people, notions, hoping they'll never alter, stay fixed. But the change they dread is already underway, and seeing it bare-eyed is only a matter of time. When sun glows, a storm looms. When summer, rain's fall taps at its gate. Clinging to the now is like holding water, expecting it won't slip away. I quote, "Some rush into being, others out. What exists now partly vanishes already. Flux and change reshape the world endlessly, as time's ceaseless march reshapes eternity. We stand in a stream. What around us should we prize when nothing offers firm ground? Like loving a sparrow, we spy it and it's flown, and yet though change spawns us, we dread it too, ironically. Many clutch at situations, items, people, notions, hoping they'll never alter, stay fixed. But the change they dread is already underway, and seeing it bare-eyed is only a matter of time. When sun glows, a storm looms. When summer rains, fall taps at its gate. Clinging to the now is like holding water, expecting it won't slip away. I quote, "Some rush into being, others out. What exists now partly vanishes already. Flux and change reshape the world endlessly, as time's ceaseless march reshapes eternity. We stand in a stream. What around us should we prize when nothing offers firm ground? Like loving a sparrow, we spy it and it's flown." End quote. Part 5. Accepting your nature. Many struggle to embrace their natural traits, looks, bodily frailties, even aging and death's certain fate. Yet Marcus Aurelius spurred himself to accept his body's bounds and find peace with his days. He reminded himself to heed the world's nature, his own nature, how he fits within it, and that he's part of nature, meant to align with it. Some boast athletic frames, others wield sharper minds. We can tweak ourselves somewhat, but our natural limits bind us still. So we might dwell our lives on flaws, chasing what we're not built to grasp. Or we can seize our strengths and excel where we naturally shine. The Stoics stressed that reason, unique to humans, marks our nature. Unlike other aware beings on Earth, we can reason clearly. This rational gift lets us rise above our raw, beastly side. Rather than slaves to passion, we can wield reason to override it. Marcus Aurelius offers a case of using reason to accept the world, fair or foul, despite his baser instincts urging otherwise. I quote, "Pleasure varies among people. Mine lies in keeping my mind sharp, in not shunning people or their fates, in welcoming and accepting all I behold, in giving each thing its due." End quote. Thanks to reason, humans can choose such a stance. Our nature lets us sidestep animal urges for a wiser course. Rather than chasing desires blindly, we can spot them and see how they breed woe. Rather than captives to wants and repulsions, we can grasp how resisting fate just brings pain. Thus, understanding how things are, we might judge that accepting what's beyond our sway, however harsh, is rational. Thanks for watching. Until next time, act wisely and act Stoic.